Hey everybody, this is Dream. We have a nice little 5 game slate here on FanDuel. I don't love this slate. I don't feel like pricing is very good on FanDuel today. Actually, not very good on DraftKings either. But let's go and get in the injury report. For the Grizzlies, Bane is doubtful and Jackson Jr. is probable. For the Pelicans, Zion is questionable. For the Clippers, Kawhi is out. For the Knicks, Robinson is out. For the Spurs, Collins is out. Trey Jones is questionable. For the Blazers, Nurkic and Winslow are questionable, and for the Nets, Irving is out. Claxton and Simmons are questionable, and Curry is probable. So, uh, decent amount of injuries to have to deal with today, considering the size of the slate being relatively small. But with that said, let's get in the players we do like today. So we're going to start with Edmund Sumner for Brooklyn. If he ends up starting again, his price point is fairly cheap. And so I do think he's a pretty decent play, assuming he does start. He's had some games where he's had, 30 plus even when he's been starting, so I do like him as a good option. Then we'll look at Jordan Clarkson here for Utah. Now, his price point is pretty good for the slate. He's been pretty consistent in getting into the 30s from a scoring perspective, so it's just a matter of fantasy perspective, rather. Just a matter of him doing that here, but this is the highest scoring game on the slate between Utah and the Knicks, so I expect him to have a good game. And then Trey Jones for Spurs, if he does play, which we still don't know for certain, but if he does play, he'll be a viable option on the slate. Pretty good price point, good upside game for him. Then we'll look at John Conchar for Memphis. Assuming Bane does end up staying out, he should be starting. And if he does start, then he's viable at this price point. Then we'll look at Dylan Brooks, who will get a nice little boost as well with Bane out. He's been a little bit inconsistent lately, but with the pricing, but his price is pretty good today for what he potentially can do, and so I like him in this matchup and with Bane out. Then we'll look at Royce O'Neal here for Brooklyn. Now he'll get a bigger benefit if Simmons is out, but he's still a decent play on the slate. He's been a little bit inconsistent, but with Kyrie out and Simmons out, he's been really solid, so I do like him here as a starter. Then we'll look at Josh Hart here for Portland. Now his price point is not super ideal, but if Winslow and Nurkic are both out, he'll have some more upside. Then we'll look at Isaiah Hartenstein for the New York Knicks. He is very dependent on whether he starts or not, but if he does start, he's a viable play. His minutes have been all over the place, like most players on the Knicks, so you do have to keep that in mind. But if he does start, he's in a nice plus matchup where he should have some upside. And then we're going to look at Jared Vanderbilt here for the Utah Jazz. Again, this team is in the highest scoring game on the slate, and so I expect his minutes to be a little bit more consistent today, especially since the Knicks have more big guys that they're going to throw at the Utah Jazz, and I expect him to play a few more minutes than he normally does and give himself a better chance to 5x or 6x in this matchup. He definitely has the upside to do it. Then we'll look at Claxton here for the Brooklyn Nets. Now he is questionable, and of course he got hurt in the last game, but he's been really good with Kyrie out and been a bigger part of the offense. And so if he does play, he'll be a good option. If he doesn't play, though, we're going to have to take a look at Jacob Poeltl. He's been pretty consistent for the Spurs when they compete in a game. His upside is actually in the low to mid in the high 40s rather, and so I think he's in a good spot here at a pretty good price. And then last but not least, Julius Randle for the Knicks. He's obviously in a nice upside game here, and he's been really solid with Mitchell Robinson out, so I look for him to be a great play on the slate, assuming that those injuries hold. So, with that said, guys, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below, and have a nice day, guys.